How much do we need to drink? That is a very, very common question. People ask it, and everyone seems to have an answer, but nobody seems to agree. Now, this is part of my Gallbladder series. But the reality is how much we drink is important for everyone. Whether you have issues like gallstones or urinary stones or ulcers in the digestive system or whatever not, drinking enough is like a very, very, very basic need. And as a therapist for the past 30 years, that is a question I've answered 1,000 times. And I have a very simple answer for you that's 100% accurate. And I'll explain why the other options that we hear are less. Now, the value of drinking enough is obvious. I'm sure that everybody knows, but not necessarily all the picture. For those of you who are curious, you might want to try out Dr. Batman Galija's book, Your Body's Many Cries for Water. It's not that big, but it says so much about the value of drinking, and it shows so many different connections to our health that I think it's a very good shock for the system to understand how important it is. But let's put it aside and let's go to the practicals of how much. Now, most people hear 8 cups of water, 12 cups of water, and settle for that. Why is that a problem? Why can't I just give you a number and make it easy? The truth is that there are so many parameters that affect how much we need to drink that there's no way that every day we need the same amount. We need a healthy thirst mechanism. But that's a little more complicated. I'll give it some time in other videos to explain the different mechanisms of dysfunctionality of the thirst mechanism. That way you'll understand why that's not a simple solution as it should have been, by the way. We should have just been able to just say, when we're thirsty, we drink, period. Hey, that's easy, right? But our thirst mechanism is very often totally off mark. So we need to have some proportion. And since if we're in a AC room, whether hot or cold, if we're out in nature with sun or with a strong wind, if we're working physically hard or not today, if we are more tired, if we slept more or less, if we ate more vegetables and fruit or less, so many different parameters affect how well we get hydrated from a certain amount, from a planned amount like 8 cups or 12 cups of water, that it's just impossible to actually give you a one-time number that will suit every day. There are days that I need 8 cups of water. There are days that I need 12. I've had days where I think drunk at least 3 to 4 liters. That's huge. That's like, think about it. It's like 12 cups. No, it's like, it's about 4 cups per liter. So it would be like, actually that was the 12 cups. But it sounds like a lot more than it is. Because there are days that I drank twice as much because I worked in archaeology as a senior in high school. That was one of my little adventures of life. And it was full August, full sunny, full no shade, because, archaeology, you're just digging. And I don't think I ever drank that much. So let's just put aside all the parameters. We've already got the clarity on that. So how do we know how much to drink? And the answer to that is actually super simple. Since urine is the result of a filtration process by the kidneys, if the urine during the day, not the first urine in the morning, if the urine during the day is translucent, not transparent, not lacking in color, but like good wine, it doesn't have floaters, it doesn't have like the feeling of an aquarium that has been cleaned recently. If it doesn't have that murkiness to it, then it means you've been flushing out the system with enough water. So the test is very simple. All you have to do is take a sample of your urine somewhere during the day, not in the morning, in a transparent cup, obviously. Put it in front, put the sun behind it, and look through the urine and see, is it translucent? Is it actually clean of debris? Or is there a lot of, gunk going on in there, which means you haven't been drinking enough right now? Now, if you do that once in a while, and in different days, with different conditions, you'll quickly learn the proportions of where you are. Do you drink enough or don't you drink enough? Now, you can start correcting. Once you realize you don't drink enough, you can either, resolve it the easy way or the hard way, and we'll talk about both in future videos to make sure that you're covered with all the different possibilities explained and in depth. Okay? So, do you drink enough? Go and check. And not just check, right down below, did you get nice translucent urine when you tested? And how much were you drinking that day? I think if we all start, sharing in proportions, it will teach a very deep lesson to us all about, whether or not we drink enough spontaneously, and is our thirst mechanism actually effective? Until next time.